So from day one pa lang, I worked towards a savings plan with my husband on how we can actually achieve that. And then before we actually really jump ship to go back home, we made sure that you have enough savings to probably last you like 6 months to a year, or even more, the better.
In this video, let's talk about 5 tips on how you can start your own business. We have Tina back in the video sharing her tips on how you can start your own business. So what are you waiting for? Check this video out.
Guys, please subscribe to Marvin Gurmo's YouTube channel.
And hit the bell and stay till the end of the video so that you hear her backstory on how she started her own business. Hey guys, so this is part 2 of our video series with Balthazar co-founder Tina. And for this video, I want you to share your tips on how can people start their own business, but not just start their own business, because a lot of people can start, but how do you think people can make their business very, very profitable?
I would say the first one is to focus on quality, whether it's a product or a service. Choose quality because your customers would always go back for your quality product and service. So for us, we're actually quite privileged to have had a number of customers, repeat customers, because they really like the product and it's not very expensive. Number 2, in order to provide quality product, you need to do your research and do it well and make it as extensive as you can. So for us, we really look for the right suppliers and we look for the right factories. As mentioned in our other video, Marvin, we make use of full grain calf leather, and this raw material isn't available here in the Philippines. So we had to source it overseas, outside of the Philippines. We needed to do ocular visits and check the factories, etc., before we can actually lock down on it. Because your suppliers, these factories, they form the backbone of your business. And if they do well, if they perform well, you'll also be able to satisfy your customers. So that's super important for us.
I just want to go back on your first tip now on quality. The drawback though, if you focus on quality, won't cost go higher also. And a lot of people are thinking, if I try to make it a bit cheaper in terms of whatever material they're using, whatever business they have, they'll probably have higher margins. So how do you balance it that my quality is good, but it's more expensive for me? Of course, you have to put your prices up also to earn. So what's your take on that?
Okay, so that's why we were thinking about what is the best way to sell Balthazar here in the Philippines. So we chose a business model that is online. So we are purely online. We have our own website, and we heavily invest in social media like Instagram and Facebook. Because by going online, we forgo the expenses that are typical in brick and mortar shops, like rental fees, labor expenses, and furniture and fixtures, and all those other expenses. So by doing so, we're able to keep our prices low and competitive, and we choose na lang to pass on these savings to our customers.
And then you said on tip number 2, you said research. Was that part of you did a study about it? What would be my price point if I'm gonna do a brick and mortar versus me just selling everything online?
Yes. Well, we sort of did some benchmark on how much the retail price would be if we had a store, and we found that it would be very expensive for what we actually were going for. Because for Balthazar, the promise really is to provide products at fair and reasonable prices. So if we mark it up so high, like triple, quadruple, parang we can't do that type of business na. It wasn't what we really wanted to aspire for. So we decided, to go online, and that's one way where we're able to maintain our prices.
You have to be an expert on, I don't know, SEO, social media marketing, digital, to be able to enter in this space. Just to give a backdrop also to people watching. I've seen a lot of people sell online. Some of their partners are really, really good either in digital or coders din sila yun. So mukhang ikaw yung expert pinito.
Yun nga, actually, I'm not an expert in SEO, SEM, but it is super important to have this for if you really want to have a serious online business. I'm saying serious because there are a lot of online businesses there, small and as a hobby lang. So pag ganon, I don't think you need to heavily invest in SEO. But for us, we choose to do that. We actually outsource our SEO, SEM services. It is super important, and I'm not an expert in that. I mean, I would consider if you're not an expert in certain aspects of the business, then you need to outsource that or ask help from friends, from family who can help you in that. Talk to a lot of people, like mentors in the industry that you can learn from. Basically, it's a constant learning process for everyone, also for myself.
Okay. And they say that you are the average of the 5 people you're close to. That's why lumalapit ako sa kanya kasi nagpapataas ako ng average ko for this. But follow-up question, you said research also. When you did this, did you figure out this will be my target market, male, this age group, this particular demographic? How could I know all of these things also?
Yeah, it starts kasi with the brand, you know, your product. Who do you want to sell to? You need to create the customer profile for your brand. So you need to set who are you selling to, the gender, the age. Have at least an idea on who you want to sell to. Kasi from there, then you can sort of like figure out your business, your activities. So if I want to sell to someone like Marvin Germo, what do I need to know about him? You know, what's his age? What's his profession? What does he need? He needs comfortable shoes, diba? So he's always in mga speaking engagements like that. Yun, so that's what I'm saying. You have to know your customers. It's super important to set up these profiles, which they call customer profiles. Kasi that will guide you, your suppliers also, the people that you partner with. And for marketing, they'll always ask you, who's your target market? You have to have that in mind.
Kala ko, Marvin Germo, may target market, hindi gwapo, bawi na lang sa sapatos. So, tip number 1 is quality. Tip number 2 is research. Tip number 3.
Tip number 3, go old school, do a business plan. Know how much you're gonna need to spend. Oh yes, you need to lay out the foundation for the business. Parang know how much initial capitalization is going to be, how much money you'll need for the next few years, so that naman you don't drain out your savings.
Okay. I would normally see people do business plans if they want to open up to investors, or they want to get a loan also for it, kasi that's what the banks would normally look at. Are you bootstrapping this, or are you getting investors also?
Yeah, yun nga, kasi we actually invited investors who want to be part of the business. So we need to prepare also the business plan to present to them. So kasi kung ako lang to, hindi ko ata kaya on my own savings alone. So we set up a corporation and we invited others.
Create a business plan so that at least, guys, you won't be able to talk about business plans in this video, but
it doesn't have to be super detailed naman na business plan. Just at least, you know, a rough plan on how you're gonna go about it.
Yeah, very, very, very important. I guess above and beyond also making a business plan is you need to know what you're getting into, because a lot of people, they just think that this product, this concept alone is very, very good, that the product will take care of everything, but there's a lot of things you need to figure out when you enter in a business. That's why she's so good. Super. Okay, tip number 4.
Okay, tip number 4, assess your own financial capacity. So you need to know how much money you have, what's your cash flow, do you have other sources of income coming your way. Kasi if you can do it on your own, wow, good, it's good for you. But if you need, you know, need help, then you're gonna have to ask for investors to join you in the business.
I'm curious, when you start something like this, if someone wants to start their own shoe company, how does it go? Do you need to produce a lot of inventory kagad, or how do you do it? Parang you make a few batches first, and then from the sales of that's what you use to buy more inventory, or one go kagad you make a lot already?
Well, okay, you need to know like how long do you want to keep selling your shoes for? So you need to know that in order to determine how many stocks you want to bring in. So if you first see that, okay, for this first order of shoes, it's going to last you for 6 months, then you do a forecast of how much sales you're going to make, so that determines how much order you're going to bring in. But if you foresee that these are, depends on the product. Our products are, I would consider basic, they're essentials. So we expect the inventory to last a little bit longer. So I needed to order more to make sure that I'll have enough inventory to last a longer time. If they're not trends, they're not fads. These are, you know, basic shoes.
Okay.
Basic style.
What's the most basic shoe there?
Or the Alexander Oxford.
Mm.
So this is a very classic traditional style. You can't go wrong with this. It's wax lace, and you have cap toe.
Okay.
And then we use cushioned insoles for optimal support. And then we have it's featuring rubber soles, so that for optimal grip and flexibility. So this one, if you already have one of this, I would suggest to get this, one of our popular styles, semi-brogue. So, yung may mga punches, mga holes dito.
Is it safe to say people call that Tito shoes or no?
Tito shoes. Pero you'll be surprised nowadays, younger guys, they're not afraid to style this when they go to work, especially yung mga fresh grads. They really like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's interesting about that is in what we do, hindi kasi napapanis, hindi nasisira. So will this last a very very long time even if it's in a warehouse?
The warehouse has to have optimal conditions din
Okay.
siya. So you need to keep it at the right temperature, and because it's leather, you need to air it out sometimes also. So hindi siya pwedeng yung nandun lang sa cabinet mo and waiting for it to rot.
Okay.
So guys out there, if you purchase from us, we always tell them that take care of your shoes, apply shoe care as often as possible. Speaking of shoe care, we also have shoe care line from Ren. So,
ang galing.
very complete guys. You can nagpa-plug.
Okay lang.
No, very seriously, you need to take care of your shoes because they deserve TLC.
So if it's done properly naman, it's stored properly, will it last for 5 years?
Oh yeah, it can last for 5 years.
It's pretty safe kasi
Definitely.
compared to other businesses, you can't really store it for a very very long time because somehow there's a portion of what the materials that they have that will deteriorate. Lalo na yung mga nagbebenta ng food, it's even harder for them.
Yes, that's
Tip number 5, how to be as good as an entrepreneur like Tina Baltazar.
I would say have a lot of faith in yourself, in your team, and yun nga, kasi without faith, you won't be able to survive the initial challenges of starting a business. So like for me, I moved back home. I gave up my job. I started this business, but I was able to hang in there. I took the leap of faith, I took the jump, and get a good support system while you're at it.
Has it ever come to a point that when things were so hard, parang you wanted to quit also? Parang when you don't get the results that you want yet, has it ever come to the point that I should have stayed in my job? Or no naman?
No naman. Actually, no naman eh. Yun nga, kasi like I said, we really researched about this. We really treated this as a serious business. We have people relying on us. So because of that, our approach has to be really professional as much as possible. So I treat it as my work every day. I go in, I meet the team, and you also have to respect your team because they rely on this for their employment. Yun. So parang I feel that yes, there are days na talagang it's hard and parang wala kang gana to check your sales, to check the market, how it's doing. But in the end of the day, you come in prepared. That's why you have to, come in prepared when you start the business, and have a series of, I would say, campaigns really lined up for the business to keep it up and running.
And if there's something that I got from this, and I always tell people, when you start a business or you go into a venture, you have to make sure that tanggap mo, if the business goes to zero, you're putting an amount of money that you can forgo. Na hindi kayo mag-away mag-asawa. It's not something that your mother-in-law will get mad at you, and you can sleep well at night. And number 2, above and beyond you putting money that you can tolerate, you also have to be all in. I really believe that it may not go the way you want it to go, pero that will lead into something that will be your business also later on as well. Okay, final words. If you want to start a business, prepare for it, research for it. There's no better time to do it but now while you're young. Because if you fail now, at least you failed early, you can try again. Galing, no? At 25 years old, she's so successful talaga. So, I hope you guys got a lot from Tina and Balthazar. I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon, guys, and goodbye.
Yes, follow your passion because without passion, you won't be able to deliver, you won't be able to do well in your work.